Hello, butterflies, and welcome to Butterfly Tea Time. I hope you have your tea and your coffee ready. Today, we're going to be interviewing the CEO of Beat Lupus, Dion Langley. Many of you know him through the Lupus Dream Team and also with his movement that he's done with Beat Lupus. He's beating to his own drum, and that drum is to beat lupus and to create awareness throughout the community. Please give a warm hand for my friend Dion. Hi, Dion.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Good morning. How are
Morning. I'm
you?
great. I definitely can't complain at all. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I just saw
Awesome.
Emmett last night. We
Okay.
were chatting. We had an amazing time. He came here to Vegas and we went out
Nice.
to like a hookah lounge and just had a like kumbaya. It was pretty awesome.
Nice. Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff.
So
Good
I'm
stuff.
really looking forward to really sharing your story today. I've been watching a lot of the things that you're doing in the community, and you're creating so much awareness for males, and you're doing so much to just create this entire movement for men, just
I
to create
appreciate it.
awareness and to educate people on lupus and to just let them know that they have a friend.
Definitely
So
appreciate it.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's definitely an honor, and I'm so excited. I've been following you as well, and since day one, you definitely been making a positive impact, and that's something that's always needed. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing, especially providing a platform for us. So I'm definitely excited, and I really appreciate it.
Thank
Definitely
you. I
appreciate it.
just want to highlight different warriors that have turned Lupus Lemonade. That's one of my groups.
That's it.
Just lupus into lemonade for you.
That's
And
it.
I feel like you're just making such an impact in the community that I don't know that everyone really knows your story. So
Right.
that's what I want to talk about today. I want to know your story too. And I know a lot of your members and your followers and the people that you're just lifting up every single day would love to hear your story too.
Right.
I understand that you're from Virginia. Is that where you
Yes.
currently reside now?
Yes. Born and raised
Okay.
From Portsmouth, Virginia. So,
Country boy.
yes, definitely there. Well, it's kind of country, but also a lot of city. But we close to the Carolinas, so it's kind of like country, it's kind of going in that direction. But I guess what I love about VA, we get the best of both worlds. So I think you get that inner city, and then you get the country as well. So I love it.
My brother and sister actually live in the Carolinas, so
Nice,
maybe
yeah.
I'll come out there sometime and
That's
check
it.
it out.
That's it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I said. It's different. It's different. VA is different, but I love it. Born and raised. It's home for me. So,
Yeah,
it's nothing like home.
lots of beautiful woodsland.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, weather-wise, I love it because we get to experience everything. It's not just cold. It's not just hot. So we get a mixture of all. We get all the four seasons. So I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I love it.
So tell me, Dion, as we kind of reveal your background and what inspired you to create Beat Lupus in the first place and how long ago you did that. What was your journey like with being diagnosed with lupus and when were you diagnosed?
I think in in the beginning, I guess I'll start by saying I was diagnosed in 2010. But honestly, I believe I started having symptoms probably 2 years prior to me being in that diagnosis. I noticed that a lot of the things that I was trying to do, trying to accomplish, I really couldn't do. Um, I'm a I'm a family guy. So if you people that really know me, they know I love my kids. So I spend a
Mm,
lot of time with them, and just trying to do things with my kids. I noticed I couldn't play with them like I used to. Didn't have the energy. Wasn't that I wasn't that real hype, exciting dad like they were used to seeing me. I was always tired. Um, it was one of those things to where it took so much to do so little. And like I say, it went on for like 2 years, and I didn't even recognize. Of course, I was going to the ER from time to time, but it's like I was getting a little go home, rest, you be
right.
good in a couple of days type scenario. And as a man, that's how we gonna take it, especially when we got a household to take care of,
Yeah.
single father taking care of my kids.
Wow.
And so at the end of the day, it's just like, hey, I'm gonna rest for a couple of days. I'll be back. So I kept going through that same cycle. finally, finally in 2010, I was November time frame 2010. Um, I'm still at the place where I'm still doing the day to day, still drumming, just still being a drummer,
How
taking
long
care
have
of
you
all
been drumming for?
I've been drumming professionally since 2012.
Oh, wow.
So I've been blessed to have a career that I love, and it really takes away from a lot of the pain that I've endured. Drumming is my safe place. So
Also, drumming is actually your career. It's not
yes,
just your hobby.
no, definitely not a hobby. No,
I
no,
didn't realize
it's
that.
yeah, it started out as a hobby. I love it. But I was fortunate to turn it into my career in 2012, and I never looked back. So yeah,
Wow.
my last job was 2012. I used to be a banker at Wells Fargo,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, I used to be a banker at Wells Fargo, and I got the opportunity to go on a jazz tour with an artist, and from that moment on, I never looked back. Yep. Yeah.
Wow. A jazz
So
tour?
yes,
So
I
you
did
like
it.
were traveling doing
Yes,
drums.
that's how I travel a lot. I know
Wow.
one year I probably stayed home out a whole year. I probably enjoyed my home for probably about 2 months the whole year. So I was like, I don't
Cool.
even know. Yeah, I was like, why even pay rent? I was like, dang, I don't even pay rent. Yeah, but yeah, so that's just the life. But it's the good and the bad. But I love it. I'll take it any day, any day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you, like, on the road when you started figuring out that you were feeling tired, or were you back home?
Oh, I was actually home, and I was actually just relaxing, and then I started having these sharp chest pains, not realizing that that it was actually lupus. And again, I kept going through this cycle of just go to the ER, get it all taken care of, this and that and the third. But um, one time I went to the ER, and I got there and I was thinking, okay, normal routine. They're gonna, give me some fluids, give me these pills. I'll be out in like a couple hours.
Yeah.
Then they admitted me, and I was like, hold up, what's going on? And they admitted me. I stayed in one hospital for probably about 2 days, and they transferred me to another hospital, and they ran more tests. And come to find out, like 2 weeks later, the doctor came in and he said that I had lupus. And
Wow, that was a very fast diagnosis. Most people, the average now is, like, 6 years.
yeah, well, the thing about it is, like I said, I was going through those symptoms for probably almost 2 to 3 years, and yeah, I guess it never came up. But I know within that 2-week stay, um, he came in and said that I had lupus. They had to uh, they had to take a lymph node out, and they had to do a
One of your lymph
surgery.
nodes was removed?
Yeah, they cut me right underneath my shoulder there, and it was actually it was a quick surgery. They had put me to sleep, and before you know it, about a couple days, like I said, a couple days later, they diagnosed me with lupus, and that was probably the roughest day of my life.
Had
Um,
you ever heard of lupus when you were diagnosed?
I heard of it, but I really didn't. I had a couple family members that had it, but I didn't.
Oh, did
I
you?
didn't. Right, but the thing about it was my grandmother, she had it. My mom had small touches of it, but they were they had other symptoms that really overturned. Like my grandma, she basically hers went into remission for so long because but she had other ailments that just overtook the actual lupus. To be honest with you, so the actual see the problems and everything that came with lupus, I never experienced it. So
Well, and
and
so many times when you have different autoimmune diseases, one will be more prominent and it
right,
will shadow the other one, and
right.
they're kind of parallel.
Right, and my aunt has it as well, but it was like they had so many other things going on that lupus it was never a big talk when it came to the
Right.
whole fam. So when I got diagnosed with lupus, man, that was the worst day of my life. Like whew, that was like I cried.
heavy.
I cried. My uncle was there, and my kids were on the way to the hospital, but I cried because I thought I was gonna die instantly. Like I thought, when you get diagnosed with something and not knowing what it is, it automatically brings fear. So people fear what they don't understand. So I was in immediate fear. Um, so that was probably the worst day of my life. Immediately, um, I went to the internet, Google, and started to do that self research. And one of the things that really scared me was when I started doing the research and looking at all the pictures were women. It wasn't no men, you know what I'm saying? Like no men in the pictures, any publications or anything. So I just knew I was like, I really felt like my manhood was like gone or something was really wrong with me because just that instant, the first sign of what you see when it comes to lupus is women. It's a predominantly a women's disease that
Yeah.
really promotes it. So and again, it just really scared me because I felt like I said, I felt like I was alone. Um, so for the next 2 or 3 years, probably the worst moments of my life, I hid. I didn't tell anyone. Only my immediate family knew. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't, I just fell off the scene. I really did. Like, and if I would get tired trying to do something, even when it came to playing drums, I didn't even tell nobody. I was in New York at a show, and I was on stage, and I had a lupus flare. So lupus, it hit me right there while I was on stage.
Wow.
Yes, and I fought through it, and after the concert was over, they had to call the ambulance, and it was kind of shocking because when the ambulance started asking me questions about my medical history when I said I had lupus, everybody in my band was like they just had this shocked face because nobody knew. Um,
Wow.
right. So like I said, I was scared to tell anybody. So it was just one of those things that I hid for like 2 or 3 years, not even trying to I guess deal with it. You know,
And I think that so many people for the last 20 years have kind of kept it a secret. I think a lot of people are just starting to talk about it now within the last like 5.
well,
Because not
well,
only did we have the education on Google or any formats or anyone to relate to, but there just was such a lack of education that it was just a secret.
right. Well, again, think about this as a man, and you go out here and somebody say, you have lupus, man can't take that. Just in my area alone, when I wear my big lupus gear all the time. So when people come and ask me, the first question they ask is it someone in your family that has lupus? And then when I say no, I do, everybody get that shocked look because it's really not publicized. So at the end of the day, a lot of men probably have it. They just ain't speaking up on it.
Yeah,
So you
and
can't,
that's
you
what
can't.
you and Emmett are changing in the scene, and that's why I love you guys so much
We
because
appreciate
this
it.
movement is much due,
Yeah, the
and
Lupus
it's
Dream
much
Team is
needed.
really right. The Lupus Dream Team, we really have a platform that just not only exposes men, but it just opens up everyone, in the autoimmune community. Because I think at the end of the day, we have to touch on the subjects that people want to talk about or want to say, but they're just not going to put it out there. So I think the Lupus Dream Team is that platform where we can touch on those subjects and not be so political about how we do it, but at the end of the day, still be us and still put out a positive message.
And by you shining the light and leading the way and being brave, it's helping others to come out and really speak and to find these support groups. And, I've met with so many different males throughout the community that still aren't speaking about it. And I've been linking them up with you guys because
We appreciate it.
it's
Yeah,
it's almost like a pride factor. It's like you don't
that's
want
it.
anyone to think that you're vulnerable or that you need any type of help, so you don't say anything.
That's it. Well, let me
So
let
for
me
you
let
guys
me
to be brave and to be always telling everyone, I think that it's giving others bravery
right,
to
right.
come
Well,
forward.
I'll definitely say this. I started hashtag Beat Lupus because when I finally did decide that I want to not just speak up about lupus, but when I finally decided to accept that I had lupus. Okay. It took me a while to accept that I had lupus. That's what had me in that slump for so long. So in order for I couldn't heal because I couldn't accept it. You know what I'm saying? So when I finally accepted the fact that I had lupus, I started trying to educate myself more, started going to, getting involved. My first encounter with the Lupus Foundation or with any type of lupus organization in my area, when I walked in there, they looked at me, they was like, "Why are you here?" They looked at me like I was crazy, you know, and that right, and that was my first encounter. That was my first encounter. Uh,
Why do you think they looked at you like you were crazy? Do you think it's because you're from kind of a smaller area that there
I was
isn't
the
the
man. I was the only man in there. It was all women.
Yeah.
So that right, like for that to be your first encounter, it really that really set. I was like,
Was
whoa,
this an in live like person to
yes,
person support
yes,
group in the
yes,
town that you live in? Okay.
yes. I'm not gonna put it out. I'm not gonna throw nobody's name under the bus because that ain't my
Yeah.
style. But
Right.
I'll just say this: my first encounter wasn't good. I sent emails to
Mm.
organizations because like I said, once I accepted it, I had to figure it out because it was bothering me. So in order for me to, to start processing the healing process or trying to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, I had to get educated. The ones that I reached out to, they just turned me away. Like I have an inbox right now from an
They
organization.
turned you away?
Listen, I'm being honest. See, the thing about this is what it is. The thing about when it comes to me and the way I advocate, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. Okay. But at the end of the day, we have
Agreed.
to have right. We have to have a sense of honesty. I started hashtag Beat Lupus because I didn't want to deal with the politics. I didn't want to be a bunch of red tape. Like I like to go direct. So my thing was when I got turned away, look, I even have inboxes that I can show you from organizations that I reached out to. They looked at the inbox and didn't even respond. And that yeah. So for me, when that
And in your
happened,
mind, do you think that's because you're a male?
I'm not even sure why, but I think at the moment when I first tried to get myself involved, that's the only answer that I knew because, like I said, when I went on the internet, all I saw was pictures of women. It wasn't no males representing lupus at the time. So for me, when I saw that, I instantly went home and I told myself, I there's no way I can sit through this, and I say something has to change. So that's when I came up with the idea hashtag beat lupus. And because at that moment I had already accepted that I had lupus. So now I had to process my mind and take this journey to do all I can to beat lupus. So
Right.
I came up with hashtag beat lupus because I'm a drummer. I
Yeah.
beat drums. So my goal is to beat lupus. So I'm gonna beat drums just like I beat lupus. So that's how I came up with the name hashtag beat lupus.
And I love that so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Yeah, it really fits me. So it fits who I am. So I think, at the end of the day, even when I wear my merchandise and the way, I advocate, it really fits who I am. So it really fits Dion.
Yeah. So when you started getting involved like on a social media platform, were you involved in a lot of lupus groups right off the bat? Did you find comfort in that?
Nah,
No.
nah. I'm be honest with you.
Yeah.
My 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 social media status was basically just me simply just putting a hashtag beat lupus logo on my t-shirt because I had started back touring, so I started back drumming. So when I put hashtag be lupus on my t-shirt, it was really I was being selfish. It was really for myself. It was a motivation for myself.
Oh, wow.
And
So
right,
you
so
were kind of trying to send a message while you were out
that's
drumming
it. That's
and
it. Because
starting
I
people
knew
on your way.
when I go to different shows, I be on the big screens. Every time it's time for the drum solo, they'll zoom in on the drummer, so they'll see this hashtag beat lupus across my chest, and you
Oh,
would be
I love
surprised
that.
how many people just recognized it, and then after the show, they'll try to link up with me, and honestly, this is a true story. This is what really made me focus on getting this word out here. This is what started me advocating. I was in Cleveland, Ohio, and I did a show. No, my fault. It was Dayton, and I did a show in Dayton. And after the show, somebody knocked on the door and they was like, Dion, somebody out here, they really want to see you. And I was like, I don't know nobody out here. Don't nobody know nobody here in Ohio, but
Had like the whole dressing room and
yeah,
everything.
so they knocked on the door. So I was like, all right, cool. But me being on the platform that I am, being a drummer, people, you got to be able to, talk to the audience. The people want autographs. So so I went out there. I was like, I don't know who would know me here. But when I walked out there, it was a family that was at the show.
Wow.
It was a mother, father, and their son, and they started telling me their story. Their son, he was the number one athlete in his area. He was supposed to go to college, get a full-time scholarship, and they took away his scholarship because he got diagnosed with lupus.
Wow.
So that really, right, it really hurt him, and he was depressed, and he won't even gonna come to the show that night. His parents forced him to come just to get him out the house. But when he saw me on stage playing drums, and when they zoomed in, he saw my Beat Lupus shirt. So their parents really wanted to meet me, right? So they really wanted to actually meet me. So I had a conversation with him. I shared my story. I signed an autograph, took a picture with him, gave him a pair of drumsticks. So now, he's doing a whole lot better, and it just changed his mindset. And I just, I always tell people, you have your good days and bad days, but you still can accomplish any goals and dreams. So the way I advocate, especially through my music and through my drumming, is to let you know that you can still achieve anything. So I think that was the turning point. So when I left Ohio, I was on the plane. And I knew right then I had to do something to put this word out.
And you're totally putting the word out, and
Thank
you're
you.
totally beating to your own drum.
Thank
And
you. Yeah.
I'm just so happy to know you as a mentor and a light in the
Thank you.
community with everything that you're doing. And I see so much in store for you.
Thank
One
you.
of the questions that I wanted to know was how you and Emmett ended up connecting and creating the Lupus Dream Team.
Man, that's probably a blessing. It's crazy. I was out here on social media advocating, doing what I was doing, not even knowing that it was somebody else out there, you know. Because like I said, when I first started, I just felt alone. I was like, man, is anybody even hearing me? Is this word even making sense?
Is this mic on?
Yeah. It was like when I say, yeah, I was like, man, I was like, should I stop? Just let it go. But I mean, I just kept going and going. And like I said, I kept wearing my Beat Lupus merchandise everywhere I go. And then one day, I don't even know how we connect. I think he had reached out to me, or he liked the comment on one of my posts or something, man. And we ended up talking, and he was like, man, I advocate for lupus. I have my male lupus warriors organization, and I was like, all right, cool. So we started talking, and man, before you know it, I was like, that's actually cool. He was on the West Coast doing his thing. I'm on the East Coast doing my thing. So it was like, wow. So, we kept going on and on about our own personal, personal companies and organizations that we had going on for so long. But our relationship grew each day. Like, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I can't remember what night it was because we talk all the time. We Zoom all the time. So one night we was like, man, you know what? Let's just do something crazy. And we was just like, we about to call it like the Lupus Dream. We're gonna make this Lupus Dream Team. And then we thought about it. We was like, okay, it sounds good because he's from the West Coast, I'm from the East Coast. So we're gonna come together and we're gonna make this one awesome dynamic team. So
I
we
love
put our
that.
personal issues aside, our egos, and we was like, hey, if he can get his fan base from his side, I get mine from my side. We bring it together. Now we bring in more people in, so, and then a dream team. So that's, and I mean, when it comes to Emmett and me, you get two different personalities. So you can't have the same personality and try to make it work. You get two different styles, two different forms of just advocating, but we got one common goal. So you bring it together, and guess what? Boom, you have an awesome team. And that's, I mean, the Lupus Dream Team. I'm telling you, we have some great things coming up, and we're definitely on the rise. And I'm just excited to be able to be partnered with them. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a joy from day one, and we gonna keep on moving.
I really see you guys both kind of meeting from different parts in the globe and just
That's it.
kind of taking the whole map over with
That's it.
education and advocacy and
That's it.
everything that you guys are doing just to give males in the community a voice.
That's it.
And that helps other people that are newly diagnosed that didn't have those resources before.
That's it. I think it's one of those things to where, you know, me and him had to understand, and we know for a fact it's bigger than us. You
Yeah.
know, it's bigger than us. Like Emmett don't need hashtag be lupus. You know what I'm saying? He got his own thing. He don't, you know, I didn't email Lupus Warriors, but we just put that whole ego thing aside and just understand if we bring it together. Listen, I always say this, it may sound crazy, but we got so many lupus organizations across the world, right?
Yes.
What if every organization came together? Let's just say, okay, out of one state, you probably got one state, it's probably 3 or 4 organizations in that one state. What if all of them came together and did something big? You get more people involved. But I think sometimes one organization want to stand out. You know what I'm saying? And of course, everybody may not say it, but we, you know, like Dion got to be the bad guy. But I just feel like if we just stop trying to compete and come
Yeah.
together, we can make a bigger
And let's
impact.
actually change the world
That's
instead of
it.
being our
Right.
own egos
Right.
and being separate
Right.
entities, but to just
Because
join
right. Because
the
think about it. Think about it. When it comes to cancer and all these other all these other diseases, they work together. But somehow when it comes to lupus, it's just like we it's just like we get to this little point and it's like, well, I can't work with these guys or I don't want to work with them because I don't want them to get the upper hand. You got 3 or 4 organizations right there. They should be killing the game. Like they should be killing the game. You
yeah.
know, but that's just my opinion. Like I say, I don't want nobody taking the wrong way, but I mean that's just how I feel.
Well, I
You
just wonder why that is. I mean, it could be because it's kind of like an isolatory disease to begin with, where you're kind of like every man for himself type of a situation, where with cancer, it's kind of a more united front.
That's it. But that's the right. It's more of a united front. So I think at the end of the day,
Right.
if we set aside the egos, but at the end of the day, that united front, that's really what it is. Because cancer comes together, lupus comes together at time like this. Okay, this is my whole
I
thing.
agree. I
This
totally
right.
agree with
This
that.
is this is this is my whole thing. Watch how hard we go in May for Lupus Awareness Month. We can
Right.
talk about lupus all day, every day. But soon as May over with, nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference in what myself, Emmett, and the Lupus Dream Team. This is a daily battle. Like this is a daily case for us. You can't look. I don't have lupus just in May. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I just oh no, I got lupus every day. You know, so I'm not just gonna stop just because May is over. Nah, we can't have that mindset. So I think it's I think we're at the point where we can get change and be effective, but we still got to tweak our minds and just realize that hey, we deal with lupus every day, not just in May.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true, and I think
Yep,
that that's one of the things that we've spoke a lot about in the community is like, "Hey, let's spread the word the whole year. Let's not just
that's
do this
it.
in May. We all do really well for our,
No
like,
days off.
months in May,
No
and
day. Yep. No
there's
days
gonna
off.
be a few of us that are, like, posting and trying to give some inspirational
That's
memes,
it.
butterflies, advice, but
That's it.
we kind of fall off after May,
Yeah,
and
we
the
fall off.
education and the awareness needs to be
That's
throughout
it.
the year and throughout the globe.
That's it. Listen, I got real upset one night, and I think I called Emmett as soon as I got off the plane. I was leaving the show. I was traveling back home. But when I got on the plane, you get in there, you take your seat, and first of all, when I walked on the plane, the pilot, they saw my shirt. They was like, "Oh man, that's an awesome shirt. Keep on doing what you're doing." I think I had a red hashtag Beat Lupus shirt on or something. So I said, "All right, cool." You know what I'm saying? Thank you. So I walked to my seat, got hooked up. So as soon as they started doing the little announcements on the plane, the last announcement, they was like, we would like to let everybody know this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and they did this whole minute-and-a-half spiel on
Oh,
just breast
wow.
cancer. Yes, on breast cancer, and they was like, you got they gave out cash out. They even had a lady walking down the aisle if you wanted to give donations. for breast cancer awareness. And I'm sitting here with this big hashtag Beat Lupus shirt on. I'm like, whoa. And instantly I was like, well, how come we can't get that for lupus? You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be something that they're doing that we're not plugging into, or that we're not taking the time to see, can we get this done? And it was people up there giving donations. People went to their phone, did the Cash App donations. So I'm like, how do we get that connect? How, as us, all the lupus leaders, all these foundations, how do we get that so we can put the word out about lupus? And I'm sitting here with this big red lupus hoodie on, hashtag Beat Lupus. And I heard this announcement talking about breast cancer. I was like, wow. So, you know,
why do you think that is? For me, I have my own theories. I almost feel like, you know, everything in the world is kind of a bandwagon, let's be honest, publicity wise. And I kind of feel like the whole breast cancer thing really got a lot of publicity in the 80s. It was a lot of publicity 80s, 90s, and it just kind of took off from there. But what do you think that we're lacking in our education and with our advocacies that's not bridging that gap and making that really be a global mission for us to find a cure the way that we do for breast cancer?
I'll be honest with you. Lupus has no identity.
Right.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Lupus has no identity.
Because it is such a fingerprint disease, and there is such a lack of resources and research.
Lupus has no identity. Lupus has no identity. People can look at me and they can walk and see me every day. If I don't have a hashtag Beat Lupus shirt on, they don't even know I have lupus. Like, they wouldn't even question. They'll just think I'm normal. So I think at the end of the day, we have to look at it from this standpoint. Lupus has no identity. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Probably every other organization, they have a certain okay, I give you an example. When I go to certain functions, I hear certain people of certain organizations, they have their own song. They have their own song. So no matter what function they have, no matter what they got going on, this song represents who they are.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Lupus don't have no identity. I mean, it's like,
and maybe that is because it is such an invisible disease, Dion, to where like if a family member that you know or a friend is going through chemo or they're going through cancer, it's very pronounced. Like, you can't deny it. They're losing hair. You look very sick. So it's very traumatic to everyone surrounding. But I think with lupus, because all we can do is take the other person's word about what they're going through. And, you know,
okay, let me
there isn't a visual aid, if you will.
Let me say this. That's so true. We have to take the other person's word. But I'm looking at it like this. The leaders, the ones that have to say so, the ones that can make that decision, with all these foundations we have across America, is no way, and this is just my personal opinion, is no way lupus should be getting pushed to the back burner all the time. So the problem is we have no identity. We have to put us, in order for you to stand out, you have to be different. So my thing is, we've been doing this whole lupus thing for so long, but we're not being different. So we don't stand out. Okay, nobody knew what hashtag Beat Lupus was until I had to do something different.
Yeah,
I could say I advocate for lupus all day long. Ain't nobody gonna hurt me out. But I had to come up with a way to make it to where it stands out. That's how come I use my music and my drumming as a tool to advocate. So when most of the time when people actually see me, they don't know I'm a lupus advocate. They just see me beating drums. So they may get tuned in by the music or the actual song or what I'm doing. But then they'll stop and think, and they'll look at my shirt, and then they'll read my message and see what I'm doing it for. So so again, you have to put yourself in position to where if everybody going left, we got to go right, because we have to stand out. So again, lupus has no identity, but who makes that call? I'm just I'm just Dion. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like it's someone that can make that call and put us in a better position. That's all. That's all.
I think that all we can do right now as advocates is to just try to get the message across and give lupus an identity.
That's why I came up with hashtag Beat Lupus, and that's what the Lupus Dream Team is about. That's what Male Lupus Warriors is about. We have to put ourselves in position to where we have to get the message across somehow. So I use music as my form of advocating, because everybody in the world, music is universal.
Yeah.
You may not all like the same song, but it's one song that everybody love that they can go to and just, makes them feel good. So that's how I advocate through my music. But again, Lupus just needs an identity, and we don't have that. So I think that's the big issue. That's the big issue.
Totally agree. And
Yeah.
I think that little by little, the different things that we're doing to create awareness and to create this movement, I think that someday we will get there. We're already very far in the game as far as social media goes, and all of our groups and our resources are growing. So I feel like we're starting to see that change and the impact that we can all make as a
That's it.
community,
That's
because
it.
we're united throughout the world through social media.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
let me ask you this. What is your favorite form of self-care that helps you get through hard times, that just makes you feel good throughout the weeks, throughout the days in your battle and your journey?
My kids. My kids.
Oh,
If it's not my kids, these drumsticks,
the
like
tr-
this, like this, like drums is my safe place.
yeah,
I like, for me, people don't even understand. Drumming saved my life. Drumming was that tool that kept me away from the streets, kept me away from being involved with the wrong crowd. And now now when I drum, it's really not for me to try to compete against nobody.
yeah.
Because the doctors told me in 2012 I'd never play drums again. They said put the drumsticks down. But
They told you that?
yes, yes, it was
Why
bad.
would they even say
That's how
that?
that's how bad my lupus complications was. Because when I inquired my lupus complications, I got diagnosed with a heart disease, and the pericarditis was so bad. I was down for probably about 6 or 7 months at one point, and that was at the peak of my drum career too. Like, everything was going so good for me, and I was getting all these auditions, and just I'm talking about, I was probably home probably once a week, but
Yeah.
drumming has really saved my life, and mentally it it really keeps me at a place to where whenever I'm upset, when I have no one to talk to, when I'm at my lowest point, I can always go play my drums, and it really relaxes me. Um, I tell anybody, drums. I can't. I don't even know what my life would be like if I wasn't playing drums.
Is there anywhere that we can go to view some of your performances? Because I haven't seen
Yeah,
any of your performances
yeah.
yet, and I would love
YouTube.
to.
I have a couple on my YouTube. And I actually got to get better at doing it, because people always say, "Man, why you don't record it?" But I just
Yeah,
never think
upload
about it.
it,
It's like,
Dion. We wanna see it.
yeah,
We want
but
you
it's
as a
like, when
community.
when I get to a show, I think I'd be so focused, and I just focus on the actual show and what I have to do. I ain't the type of person to just set up a camera and want to look at myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't what I do. But
Moment.
right, but I think at the end of the day, my goal for next year is to record and do a lot of more drum features. But if you go to my YouTube page, Drum for Lupus, I have a couple videos. And matter of fact, I'm going to post one I did last year.
Okay.
Christmas time, I did a Christmas time video, so I post that in my hashtag beat Lupus group. So I normally do something every now and then, but my goal for next year is to get better at doing that, because everybody always asks. So
Yes,
I
do
got
it, and
you.
you're gonna have
Yeah,
so many followers within
right,
us. We're gonna support you as a lupus
right.
community and
So
really share your
I
videos.
definitely have to get better at doing that. But yeah, if you go to my YouTube page, and then follow me on Instagram at Drum for Lupus, even hashtag beat Lupus, you'll see a couple of my little video snippets. So I
Well, I
think
will
I
definitely
think
check
I'm okay.
it out.
I think I'm okay. Yeah.
I bet you are. So it's so awesome that you found a passion that kind of keeps you going and that you can also share your creativity and your journey with others. Is
Right.
there anything that you wish you had known about lupus or been told before going through your diagnostic journey?
The inconsistencies of lupus. I think the hardest part for me now is being able to bounce back from a lupus flare and just not knowing when a lupus flare is going to come. Um,
Right? Because there's so many triggers and a lot of
yeah,
them are
yeah,
mystery in
and
the first place.
I mean, it could be at the worst time, and I didn't realize, how much lupus could affect your personal life, your social life, um,
Yes.
and the people don't understand it. It's hard. It's really hard for them to relate. Socially, and a lot of people may not say it, but socially, if it's hard out there. I talk to a lot of lupus warriors sometimes, and it's hard for them to even have a good social life dating because their partner or their
And you can
spouse,
never predict how you're going to
right,
feel
and their
to make
partner just don't understand, right? So, but I think it's one of those subjects that again a lot of people don't talk about, but this is what it is. Socially, having that social life is hard because people don't understand lupus, and when you're tired, you're tired. You know what I'm saying? Like if your body can't do, your body just can't do.
How
So
would you say that you've been most affected? Has it been through fatigue, joint pain? Have any of your internal organs been compromised at all?
yes, heart, stomach, uh, but I ain't gonna like I get the fatigue, the pain. I mean, I'm a drummer, so I utilize my body to the fullest. Just
Yeah.
playing like so and again, should I be playing the way I do? Probably not. But when you love something and it's your passion, and then it's also my career too. I don't think about it. I'm just one of those guys that hey, I'll just deal with the pain later. You know what I'm saying? Like if I have a weekend of playing where I got to go play and travel, I'll be good through the shows, tough it out. But Monday morning, I'm done. Like my body, like it's going to hurt. I'll be done for like 2 days. You know what I'm saying? But when you love something, you really really love it. You're not gonna make no excuses. You're not gonna let anything stop you. But the
Mhm.
whole fatigue, the body pain, man. Some mornings I can't even get out of bed. Like people see me now and they see what they see, but some mornings I can't even bend down to tie my shoes. My kids had to tie my shoes. It's just little things, but people don't see that. So I think at the end of the day, and I'm sure everybody that has lupus or dealing with any type of autoimmune disease, is so many things that people don't see behind the scenes, you
Oh,
know. But
absolutely.
but again, I know mentally I had to overcome this fear of lupus. The thing about it is, yeah, I know I have lupus, but I'm not scared of lupus no more. I don't let it dictate who I am. At the end of the day, I'm gonna keep being a regular Dion. I'm gonna keep being Dion each and every single day. I'm not gonna wake up thinking I'm gonna have a bad day just because I had a bad day yesterday. Yeah, I was hurting. I was physically not at a great place yesterday, but I'm not gonna carry that mindset until the next day. A lot of people that have complications and problems with lupus is because they struggle with the mental aspect of it. If you
Yeah.
can't if you can't have a mental strongness or mental toughness about dealing with lupus, guess what? Your mental start taking over the physical. And I know you see it. You be on social media. It's certain people every day that they come on there and they saying something bad about lupus. And to me, I can't feed into that because
Right.
lupus is already bad enough. No, like nobody asked to have lupus. I didn't say, hey, pick me. You know what I'm saying? So I think at the end of the day, lupus is already bad enough. So why I'm gonna keep bringing up the bad when it comes to lupus? Because the bad is gonna happen anyways. But my thing is, just like listen, this is me in this motto. You have to turn your pain into progress, and
Yeah.
that's I think that's probably the hardest thing for people to understand. Turn that pain into progress. Turn that pain into something positive. And
Yeah.
and 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 when you do that, it takes your mind off the pain. It takes your mind off the pain. I ain't saying it's gonna go away because lupus ain't gonna go away, but again, I'm putting myself in a whole nother mental state to where I'm not just waking up every day thinking about that I have lupus.
Well, the mind is very powerful.
That's
And
it.
even though there's so many different things going on with the body,
That's
you
it.
can kind of fight with your mind a little bit.
That's
And
it. That's it. So I listen, we could, we can go on and on every day, each day about how we're going to deal with lupus and what, what lupus does. But listen, this is so real. If you don't accept that you have it, how can you begin to heal?
yeah,
Like I think acceptance is number one. It's still so many people out here that haven't even accepted that they have lupus, so it's hard for them to actually heal. So that's all mental. That's all in the mind, and I really try to put out positive messages every day when it comes to the dream team, the hashtag beat lupus page and all that stuff. So I really try to look at it from a reality standpoint. I think sometimes we're as a community, we're not afraid to say what really needs to be said. I just think we're just timid about it, and we just kind of go behind the bush about it.
well,
But
we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings,
right,
and
right, and that's true. But
everybody's journey's
right,
different.
right. But I think we have to be honest too, and I think
Yeah,
that's the thing. I rather you tell me the truth than to lie to me any day. So at the end of the day, somebody be like, even when it comes to me musically, I'd rather them say, "Hey, Dion, you just didn't sound good today." I can take that. So now I know how to come back and fix it. But I don't want you to keep saying, "Hey, you sound good," knowing that I didn't sound good, and you keep telling me that for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I think at some point, and just like I tell anybody, when me and Emmett, you get two different things from us, but that's what made the Lupus Dream Team so special and so unique.
that's what makes it the dream.
That's it, right? So, me, I'll be that person that'll be blunt, but I'll be direct, but not to hurt your feelings. But it's just I'm gonna be the person to say what everybody thinks, but they're not gonna say it. So so that's all. But I think at the end of the day, we're all fighting for a very wonderful cause. And like I say, the word is getting out. We just got to keep pushing. I think
Yeah.
again, we can't just go hard in May and
We've
then
made
the
a lot of
community just shut it
progress.
down.
Like, we've
Thank
made
you.
so
Yes.
much progress.
Yes, we just got to keep pushing, and like I say, my goal is, and our dream is to just. I want us to come together, man. Like we got so many foundations. We should come together. We should have the biggest. I think what you call it, the biggest gala organization. I don't
A
know.
gala all
Yeah,
across
something.
the
Yeah, I
world
just feel
with
like
all
right,
of us.
right. I just feel like with all the
We need to
foundations
do
we
a
have,
live something or
right,
another.
we should have the biggest function ever, man. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I don't
So,
know. Maybe
Dion,
it's
let
New
me
Year.
ask you this. What would you tell fellow lupus warriors on tough days?
I would tell them it's only temporary. I think tough days is the hardest days for you, but that tough day is only temporary, and
Yeah,
you have to understand you can have a tough day today, but tomorrow's a different day. You cannot sit and linger in the tough day thinking the next day is going to be the same. Always expect better. And listen, on the tough days, rest. Don't try to
with
tough it
your
out. Don't
body.
Yeah, don't try to be macho man. Everybody know their body. Everybody know their limits. You can't go off what nobody else does or how somebody else handles their lupus. You have to be you. You have to be you. And in the end, you know, it will definitely benefit you. But on the tough days, just is listen, it's only
Take it
temporary.
easy with yourself. Be
That's
kind
it.
to yourself.
That's it. That's it. Just listen, just know that this is temporary. This is temporary.
Yeah.
And man, like I say, once I go through a weekend of playing, that Monday be so bad for me. You probably
Yeah.
won't even see nothing. Like I lay home, I lay in the bed. I wouldn't even leave the house probably on Mondays. But that's just Monday. Guess what? Tuesday, I'm right back at them, running and doing everything. Can't sit still. But that Monday, guess what? This is my tough day. You
I
know?
love that advice so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and
Thank
for
you.
everything that you're doing to
Thank
really spearhead the male lupus community.
Thank you so
If
much.
you guys want to hear more about Dion's story or watch him and his drums doing his magic, follow Lupus Dream Team and Beat Lupus. And then where can we find you on YouTube?
Yes, it's drum the number 4 lupus, so it's drum for lupus on YouTube, Instagram drum for lupus, Twitter, also Instagram, my beat lupus apparel. So I have a beat lupus apparel page for all you lupus warriors who want to beat lupus apparel, and follow us on the Lupus Dream Team, Emma Henderson Male Lupus Warriors. You know, let's get it going. You know, hey, look, I'm in the Christmas spirit too. You know,
I love that.
yeah, I'm in the
Christmas
Christmas
hat
spirit.
with
Yeah, so I love it.
lupus.
Yeah, I love it. So so any lupus apparel, man, let's go ahead and get that word out. And the
And
best
I
way,
love that you're
best way to do
creating
the show.
lupus awareness through fashion
That's
and
it.
also through music.
That's it.
How
That's
much
it.
more fun can that get?
That's it.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining Butterfly Tea Time. Catch us back here next week. And until next time, fly free.